The Space Pen can write in zero gravity, which is why astronauts have used it. It also writes underwater, in extreme heat or cold, or when even upside down. All this is possible due to the pen's ingenious design, which allows you to write stuff down even when you're not the right way up. The Space Pen's ink is pressurized with nitrogen, so unlike ordinary ballpoints, the ink doesn't rely on gravity to get to the tip. Invented in 1966, the pen first went into space with the Apollo 7 astronauts. The pen's writing point starts out as an 8mm long block of stainless steel. It passes through more than a dozen machining operations, which progressively shape a point, then bore a hole through the tip to form a pocket for the carbide steel ball that makes this a ballpoint. The last station inserts the ball and curves the edges of the pocket inward, so that the ball is locked in, but can still rotate to spread the ink. The replaceable ink cartridge begins as an empty brass tube. This assembly machine inserts a white plastic ball into the back end, then pumps in half a gram of ink. The white ball is called the float, and its job is to follow the ink down the tube, moving residual ink forward towards the point. The next machine inserts the writing point into the opposite end of the tube, then crimps the end to ensure it can't dislodge. Back to the other end of the tube, the machine applies a bit of sealant, then injects the nitrogen to pressurize the cartridge, then caps the tube with a hollow brass plug. Nitrogen is ideal for pressurizing. It's an inert gas that doesn't harm the tube or its contents. This demonstration shows how the pressurized nitrogen forces the ink to flow. After subjecting each and every refill to a writing test, the surface is cleaned of any residues, and a printer applies the company name and product information. Certain Space Pen models have a cap for the pen. A feeder places a brass cap on each spoke of the cap assembly machine, which then pushes the cap into position to receive a clip. The clip is stamped out of spring steel, which is a fairly flexible metal. It's chrome-plated for corrosion resistance and looks. The machine drives the clip's teeth through the wall of the cap, then curls them back towards the inside of the wall, locking the clip in position. To prepare the two-part brass body for the pen, a feeder drops the bottom part, called the barrel, onto each spoke of the barrel assembly machine. To strengthen the writing end, the machine inserts a brass reinforcement piece called the nose tip. It then crimps the end, flaring the nose tip inside the barrel so it won't fall out. This model has a chrome-plated brass body, but a cap minus clip. To begin assembling the pen, workers place the barrel in a foam holder, insert a spring to keep the cartridge in position, then a threaded connector made of brass. The barrel goes through a machine which puts a silicon rubber O-ring on the top edge of the barrel. And now the final assembly. They place a cartridge in the barrel, insert the connector into the top half of the body. Then with an electric motor, thread the parts together. After placing the cap in a foam holder, they insert the pen. The O-ring holds the cap in place. The original Space Pen, still in production, has a push button on top to push out the ballpoint, and another on the side to retract it. This demonstration pen has a cutaway section to show the inner workings. All Space Pen models can write underwater. They also work in freezing cold, intense heat, or even upside down, which is excellent news, because I can now pen me memoirs whilst I'm in the bath, or on the moon for that matter.